Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and I'm looking at a very interesting book from Ashgate. It's called Contracting for Space, with the subtitle Contract Practice in the European Space Sector. This book here, we'll look at it in a minute, nice picture of the Whirlpool galaxy there, give you an idea of what it's all about. It's been edited by Lesley Jane Smith and Ingo Baumann. I think this is an excellent book because it's very much the future. It's what we're looking at. We've therefore given it, not surprisingly, an interesting title: Contract Practice for the Final Frontier. What we said, space, the final frontier, and an almost infinite one too, unless you agree with Professor Cox that the universe will come to a dismal end 70 billion years from now, or whatever. In the meantime, however, space initiatives should provide an interesting and lucrative workload for lawyers and those of you who wish to think ahead and plan ahead in this area. Therefore, you should, in our view, rush out and get Contracting for Space immediately. It's a great book, a bit heavy. It's running to something like 400 odd pages. That's the front cover, nice cover. That's the detail on the back. In the book itself, you've got actually relatively small index, possibly could have been slightly bigger, I would have hoped, and lots of references at the end of each of the chapter headings. Basically, we have chapters in this particular publication. As you can see there's one of them, written by various different contributors, all of whom are listed. This is about space contracts itself, for instance. What you've got again is a standard structure of introduction, background, the detail, and then, for instance, you've got a list of references at the back, which is extremely helpful. There is, in fact, a quite useful introduction which talks about the developments that have taken place, and we've also got a very detailed list of abbreviations. I treasure this book. I think it's a wonderful book and something that's of an important contribution to international law of contract matters concerning procurement of equipment and ancillary matters generally, largely of course within the EU. The detail of our review is actually on the web, and I've sent it to the journals. So it's really looking ahead at what we're going to be facing in the future. And looking at business and commercial spin-offs from space, these will be likely, in our view, to prove to be almost as infinite as space itself, with everything that's going to happen in the next decades. And it's a reality which is reflected, of course, in EU space policy today, notwithstanding the current economic difficulties we have. This is a much more of a long-term thing. Space applications, in our view, will inevitably support virtually everything from road, rail, air and maritime transport to systems, environmental issues and climate change. Apart from the obvious military applications, think of medicine and medical technologies, mobile communications, navigation products and so on. There's a very large number of spin-offs which we think are very important. The aim of the editors with this publication, and also all the contributions, is to examine in depth the complex legal framework that will result from this equally complex body of space-related activities. It's not going to be simple, but at the same time we've got to have some sort of framework, and this book is very much of an introduction as to what we're likely to expect. So if you're a practitioner or policy maker or merely fascinated by space law, you'll definitely need a copy of Contracting for Space. It's a great introduction, as I've said, to contract practice in a developing area, yet an unfamiliar area possibly at the moment to many people, even lawyers. So thank you very much to the editors, the contributors and to Ashgate for this Final Frontier publication. Bye bye for now.